happy place is in airplane hangars. I absolutely love it, and I'm here with Matt, who is somewhat of a humble but like local legend in a little bit of a way. You've done some like really cool things as a pilot, right?
Yeah.
I know we're here to talk about Stay Indiana, but I want people, we've got quite a while to talk, so I want people to understand a little bit about your background in aviation too. So how did you get into aviation?
I grew up out in California on the Eastern Sierra Nevadas, out in the middle of nowhere. And so out there were no pilots. So it was difficult for me to get into flying because I didn't know any pilots. That's kind of what inspired Stay Indiana, was just because I was that kid that really was interested in aviation and just didn't know how to get into aviation.
Yeah.
So we're trying to help find pathways into that. But it also, from the other aspect of it, made me very interested in backcountry flying as well, which is what you kind of hinted at. So I have a mall that does some backcountry flying as well.
And you've actually, so for anyone who doesn't understand the term backcountry flying, it's basically when you're kind of landing in the backcountry, right? So can you just explain a little bit about that as well?
So yeah, I have a Maule M5. It's a great, amazing airplane.
Yeah.
What I like to say about it is it likes to land everywhere but airports. So it lands what's called off airport. So I have skis for it to land on the snow. We have big tires. They're 31-inch bush wheels. It's capable of running over a rock about the size of my head.
Yeah.
So you kind of see it as kind of a Jeep of the air. You can take it just about anywhere.
I love that. And you did take it just about anywhere. I mean, you went over to Greenland, then you flew to Iceland and over to Europe, right?
Yep. So yeah, we did a family trip, sort of. I had the family meet me in Greenland, but yeah, I hopped up to northern Canada inside the Arctic Circle, then crossed over into Greenland. We kind of did some backcountry flying all over Greenland. Then did Iceland, Faroe Islands, the UK, worked our way down through the UK, crossed the English Channel into Belgium.
And what was it like having to fly all the way back? Because I think it would be fun going there, but then you're in Belgium and you're like, I got to turn around and do it with the headwinds now.
I got good chocolate. We piled up the chocolate, turned around, came back. We had a lot of fun coming back too. So
Nice.
there was a lot of good places to stop all along the way over there.
Yeah.
And we found just as many places to stop all on the way back. So we stopped at different locations on the way back.
Yeah.
To keep it interesting. So.
I think when it comes to getting married, find someone that you trust as much as Matt trusted his single engine when he was over the ocean between Greenland and Iceland. And you probably had the suits and everything on, right? In case you had to jump in the water.
We have survival suits because the water up there is colder than freezing. So your survival rate's not very high. So you have to wear basically a dry suit and the life vest and have like a life raft right next to you just in case if something happens, if you lose that engine.
No, absolutely.
Your hearing gets really good when you're over the ocean because all of a sudden you hear everything that's going on with your engine because you're waiting for something to happen.
You start hearing phantom things then that aren't really happening. So Stay Indiana, as somebody who got my pilot's license in Goshen in 2019, this area actually is rich in aviation resources, but it feels like it's just, you can go out to some of the airports here that should be thriving and there's just no activity going on. And it's really sad to see because and you're trying to really, with Stay Indiana, trying to break down those barriers, right, for people?
Yeah, so when we started looking at different ideas, we were sitting at Oshkosh, which is the largest air show in the world. There's a group of us sitting there and having a discussion and realizing there really wasn't much for local teens in the aviation around our area, which is too bad. You look at a lot of the organization stuff. I'm usually the young guy showing up for this stuff. I'm not that young, so I should not be the young guy.
No, I know what you're saying.
So I was like, we need to find some way to get the next generation involved. So actually at Oshkosh, there was a group that had an teen airplane build, so we kind of stole their idea. They were very nice to help us make sure we don't do the same mistakes that they've done, and got us in contact with others that have done it as well. So we can kind of use best practices to make sure we can get it right the first time or closer to the right. And the whole idea was, to get more families and more students out into the local aviation. A lot of people don't even realize like the Mishawaka Pilots Club even exists.
No, it's great here,
we got a grass strip and a little paved strip. A lot of airplanes out here that come and go. But even at Elkhart and South Bend, there's a lot of aviation there that people don't realize, small plane wise and so forth.
I'm guilty of this too, is that yes, if I sit in a plane, I can fly it, but also I don't always know, like I'm not a genius when it comes to, I'm not an aircraft mechanic understanding everything that's happening. So I think this is a really clever way to also get teens and future aviators to really understand what's going on when they're flying and what's beneath it all. So can we see the plane that's out here? So
absolutely.
Tell me a little bit. It's a Zenith 750 cruiser.
Yep, this is a Zenith 750 cruiser.
It's a light sport, is it?
It could be made as a light sport or the normal, it's experimental category.
Okay.
So we're making it for a little bit heavier use, so skip the light sport, but you can make it for a light sport instead. It holds 2 people, and then with full fuel, you're looking just to, with the higher gross weight, you can hold about 500 pounds.
Nice.
So 2 grown adults, or 2 smaller adults in some bags.
Yeah.
So it depends on how big the adults are, I guess.
I feel targeted right now with that. It's like every time I think about losing 6 pounds, I think I can get an extra gallon of fuel on there, like, you know. So why did you pick this airplane? Is it obviously you can buy it as a kit? Is it a bit like more affordable, or what was the reason behind it?
So there was a lot of things that went into it. So as you're probably well aware, there's a lot of different type of planes that we could have picked from. Initially, we were looking at tail draggers because we were kind of like, well, we have a grass strip. It'd be nice to go back to kind of the grass roots. The problem is insurance companies don't like tail draggers. So people that are aware.
If pilots just stop looping them after they land, you know.
So yeah, the pilots typically ground loop them. I think it's like less than 10% of pilots can fly tail draggers nowadays. It's kind of a dying art form. But because of that, the insurance rates for them are outrageous. So we're like, we can't afford that. So as much as we would like it, so we went towards the tricycle gear, and then out of the tricycle gear ideas, the Zenith is a very quick build. So we don't lose the interest of the kids. We don't want some big long build where they're working hours and hours and hours on just one little spot and they lose interest. So it's nice and quick, so you can see some progress going, keep their interest going, and it's also, like you mentioned, very cheap. So relatively speaking,
very cheap. Yeah.
For airplanes, it's very cheap.
This is the first time I've ever been around airplanes and I'm getting paid to be here today. Normally I lose a couple $100 every time I'm around them. If people watching want to get involved, support you, if they have teens, is it still open to people to be able to come out, or is that already structured with the schools, or how is that?
No, so we are working on getting into more schools. So we're currently at the South Bend schools, and then we're working on getting at the Goshen schools, where it's an actual class. It's a CTE class. And then we also have an after-school program that we do here at the Mishawaka Pilots Club. After this build is done, which we should be flying it in August, we have plans to get another airplane to start doing it again. And we want to make this kind of perpetual. So we are already taking applications for new students for the be August to September timeframe. We'll start the next one here. So, and they go to our website. It's stayindiana.org to find more information about that.
What I enjoy about this program, easy to build. It's preparing me for a real world experience. Like it's teaching me how the airplane works fundamentally, where pieces go together, how pieces work together, like the wiring, the instruments, the rotor pedals, everything. It's teaching me how to read blueprints. And like I said earlier, it's preparing me for like real world experiences, like skill management, resource management, all that kind of stuff. So after this, no matter what career I want to go to, either like engineering or being a pilot or just an aircraft mechanic, I already have like the fundamentals on what I can do for that. Definitely, especially after this, I was kind of iffy at first before starting this, but now that I have all this experience behind me, I definitely know that I'm probably gonna be a pilot. But if that doesn't work out, I can still be like an aircraft mechanic, or I can build airplanes as well. I am looking forward to flying this airplane when it's done, because it's a very rewarding experience coming in here week after week, seeing it all be put together, knowing that one day this thing is going to be in the air and I took part in making this.
So if people want to get more information, as you mentioned, stayindiana.org. So what does STAY actually stand for?
It was for STEM and Aviation Youth Indiana. And then we also wanted to make a point that you can actually stay right here in Indiana and be in aviation, because most people have this myth of aviation that you have to be living like in Chicago or LAX or New York.
It's a third of the cost here.
Yeah, it's a lot cheaper to live here, but you can also live here and be in aviation. For example, at the Mishawaka Pilots Club, we have several airline pilots that live right here. Also aircraft mechanics that live based right out of here. So there are actual pilot jobs in our local area, as well as mechanic jobs that you can get right here. And if they want to move, they can. But the idea is you can actually stay right here in Indiana and do aviation.
But I love it here, and I love flying here. And people talk about it all the time. It's like, oh, it's all flat and everything. I was like, we have the most gorgeous sunrises, the sunsets. There's loads of airports around the area. We've got Lake Michigan, to go up and explore. You can go fly the Chicago skyline along the corridor there. Like, there's a lot of places to go. Detroit. I mean, if you really want to go around, I think this is a great place to be for general aviation.
Absolutely. And if anybody gets a chance to do the skyline, for those that aren't aware, you actually can fly just below the building line along the coast by downtown Chicago. It's a very popular route for pilots.
And
it always surprises a lot of people the first time you do it. But it's a pretty amazing view.
And so while it is fun, obviously, for the kids and for you and all the adults involved, there's certifications and everything that they can get from it. There is an actual education component to it too.
Part of our idea is to try to get them a jump start on a career in aviation, and it could be any part of aviation. So obviously with the build, the most obvious one is maintenance. So all the kids get put underneath apprenticeship with an A&P that we have,
Nice.
And they log hours towards their A&P. So you need about 3,000 hours to get your A&P. And starting next year, we're going to have online training for them to do their general part of their A&P. So they'll get their first of their 3 tests done for their A&P certificate, which makes them hireable out of the high school. And then when we actually get the plane flying, we'll take the kids up, and as of December, the FAA is now starting to allow nonprofits like ours to allow us to instruct in the plane with the students, even though it's an amateur built plane, and so they'll be able to get some flight hours towards their pilot certificate as well.
That's wonderful. I mean, and trust me, that adds a lot of value. I mean, whether kids realize it now, but even money-wise, that's a lot of value. But even just getting ahead of the game is a lot of value too. So I love that. Well, I can't wait to fly it. Obviously, once there's an engine in it and wings. But no, this is great, and I love that you're doing it. And as you said, as a teenager, I knew nobody that was into aviation. That's why I got my license when I was 36, because it was, one of those dreams that you think is somebody else's. But you're out here making people realize that it's possible. So thank you.
Thank you.